Jai Shri Ram. Hi Mona, welcome. Welcome to the global reading of the Ramayana. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and then we'll begin introductions and walk you through the structure and we'll get into the reading. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All those who have yet to come, all those who will join us at a different timeline, welcome. Welcome and Jai Shri Ram. How's everyone been? So while we're waiting for everyone and those who would like to join this reading, a little bit about myself. My name is Srishti Chand Noel. I'm an author, a healer, and a spiritual intuitive. And I am spreading the love with the epic story of the Ramayana. Now, for souls that are conscious and for souls that are waking up, there is something for everyone here. A story is a very powerful thing. It works on a number of levels within our conscious and subconscious mind. It completely shifts our perspective, if you like, and it does so in a very subtle way. My mission and my purpose through storytelling is to bring you back, make you whole, to bring to you ancient wisdom that we know, that is part of us, that is within us, and to help you remember some of the little things that we often forget in this age of Kali Yuga, if you like. So there's something for everyone. Story cuts through race, religion, all sorts of constructs and divides. It matters not who you are. It matters not which feather you don't. What matters is the intention. What matters is that you're here or you intend to be. And what matters is that you're looking for something, maybe a perspective. And perspective is everything, because everything that we see in our creation begins with a single thought that then becomes a belief, that then becomes speech, and then action, and lo and behold, that's your third dimensional reality. So welcome to this epic story and the 13th session of the Global Ramayana reading. You will take whatever it is that you need from this session. It does not matter when you hear or listen to this session, you will be called based upon your own evolution, your own karma, and your own intention and your desire to grow and evolve as a conscious being. So these readings are timeless. They will find you if they are meant to, and if you are looking, it will all be attracted and brought to you for your consideration and for your growth. So welcome. I ask you to leave all baggage behind and step into another world with me, a world where you can bring the innocence of your childhood back. A pillow, maybe a little soft toy. I have the whole animal kingdom with me that come and go as they please. And yeah, I will explain bits and pieces during the reading um, where I find the need to. Otherwise, I invite you to just step into the story and let the story guide you. You will know within your heart which part of the story speaks to you, and take from it what you will, um, and take your will, because there is just so much. There is so much wisdom, and every time there are more layers. So, welcome, and I'm happy that you are here, all of you, your bloodlines, your ancestors, all those that are connected to you are here through you. So welcome, welcome. And number 13 is a very auspicious number, even though a lot of people, and from what we've heard, 13, the unlucky number. Well, it is the number of the feminine as well, and this is reading 13. Everything is magic, everything is miracles. It is about our perspective. So the magic already exists. It's like we need to tune in to another frequency, and lo and behold, there's a whole new world out there. And what better way to open that door than through the epic story of Lord Ram, where there are animals, and there is grace, and there is love, and there is so much to learn. So thank you for being here. Thank you. From all of me to all of you, thank you. Now, the structure of the session, usually do a little bit of a quick cleanse and open the space. And by that I mean honoring each part of the system that chooses to be here, seen and unseen, conscious or unconscious. There is place for everyone in the sacred circle. And we have the sacred fire bearing witness to this story. So I invite you to just close your eyes if you're more comfortable, and just sink into this place in your mind where I will take you, and where we will walk hand in hand and take our lessons and take the story and let the story be us. Okay, beautiful. For those who don't know, I'm based in Melbourne, Australia, but it matters not. It's pretty hot here in Melbourne today. Feels like summer, reverse of India. Interesting times, COVID, non-COVID. I ask you to leave it all behind, all fear constructs, everything. Leave it behind. Leave it behind. Okay. And so, so the structure of the session I've explained. For those interested in readings prior to sessions 5, you can contact me or PM me. These are live recordings, but are not posted on my page, but they can be provided to you. Anything after reading 5 is available on the Facebook page. Okay, I'm going to open the thanks space now and give thanks. Just take a long deep breath and come back to now. Bring yourself back into your body. And just feel the earth under you, holding you, supporting you, Mother Earth, Gaia, upon whom we sit or stand in this moment in the ever present now. I wish to honor and pay respects, acknowledge Mother Earth, upon whom we sit and hear the story. Wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, four directions, upper worlds, lower worlds, and middle worlds, all beings of unconditional love and light. Earth, wind, water, fire, ether, the elements and elementals, the intergalactic council, the ascended masters, all gods and goddesses, all kings and kingdoms, all tribes, all shamans, all teachers, all keepers of the sacred land, all animals, the crystal kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the kingdom of air, the kingdom of fire, the kingdom of water, all those named and unnamed, all beings, all sentient beings that choose to be here, I honor you, I acknowledge you, and I pay my respects to you. All forgotten parts of the system, my ancestors, my bloodline, all parts of me across the universe, all parts of you across the universe, I acknowledge you, I honor you, and I pay my respects to you. All beings, all fractal forces, disarmed attendance only. You are welcome to attend with pure intention under the grace and protection of Lord Shiva. Only love may enter the space. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to space and time, the fabric of the cosmos, Maya, the great illusion, all the players, even the dark forces that may choose to be present, but with disarmed attendance only, protection field overlay is in place. Om Aim Klim Savitri Prasundari Namo Namaha. Om Aim Klim Savitri Prasundari. Om Aim Klim Savitri Prasundari. It's gone a bit longer today, and welcome anyone that I have forgotten and who wishes to be here may be present. Only for the duration of the reading. Blessings to all. Okay. Now it's a powerful time. For those who are waking up and feeling the ascension waves and changes with the full moons and the eclipses this month, stay grounded. Stay grounded. The energies are shifting quite rapidly. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water and you're not a lot in your mind. So if you start going really fast, come back to planet Earth. What I mean by that is ground yourself. Physical touch, use your senses. And that's really important right now. But more to come on my YouTube channel, where I'll be providing some live updates and transmissions and information for those that are dealing with the shifting energy as we ascend into the new Earth 5D frequencies. Interesting. Okay, so today's reading. So just a quick recap for those that were with me last time and where we left off. So last time the news had been delivered, the news for Lord Ram to leave. His wife Sita was able to convince him to go with him She could not even imagine being left behind. Sita was the embodiment of these divine qualities and virtues as the complementary part of Ram. And she saw her duty, as we know, through thick and thin, to support her husband. And she saw her life and her whole universe, if you like, with her husband. And so she saw um, accompanying him as essential to fulfilling her role as his wife, which I thought was really, really beautiful. So a few little gold nuggets there for us. I do apologize that we're going a bit slow today, but the energies are quite intense. And so I will not rush this reading. We're going to go with the pace that my guides give. And if I need to step it up, I will. But there is no end game here. We all know stories finish. That is not the point of the reading. This is incremental improvements, if we like, to our consciousness. How to live life, one learns from the Ramayana. And, right thought, right action, right um, way of engaging with life. We learn. We learn through the Ramayana. And what better way where we can learn from the trials and tribulations and challenges of Lord Rama or Lord Vishnu, and really take those and integrate those lessons. And it is there for a reason, and this text has existed for thousands of years, and there's so much wisdom. So it makes sense then to pick up things that are applicable, and a lot of it is even in today's age. Now, for those who can hear this big screaming, that is Maximus, my king cockatoo, looking for some seeds. So I might have to get up if it gets too loud. Okay, I'm just going to read the last paragraph and we'll continue. We are on the Ayodhya Kanda, and we'll continue this probably for another session or two and then get into the next one. So thank you for your patience while I just came back. At last, Rama agreed. He agreed. Who did he agree to? Lakshman. His brother also wanted to accompany him. So last time we left off where Sita manages to convince Ram, and then Lakshman is next, saying, I will come with you, dear brother. Such is the love, such is the bond between the brothers. It's just beautiful. And so at last, the elder brother agreed. He then instructed Lakshman, you may certainly come, but first take leave of your mother, he said. Afterwards, bring the two mighty bows given by Varuna to Maharaja Janaka, the impenetrable armor, two inexhaustible quivers, and a pair of powerful swords. After paying your respects to Vashisht, and here this is sage Vashisht for those who've been following the story. After paying your respects, return here with the weapons, and we shall depart. So Rama has agreed that Lakshman also accompany him and has given him a little task to do, which is to go bring these weapons in preparation for the departure. And so that's where we left off. Let's read on. Having fulfilled Rama's orders, Lakshmana returned. Rama then asked him to summon the foremost of Brahmins so he could distribute all his possessions in charity. Soon thereafter, Suyatna, the son of Vasisht, and the sons of Agastya and Vishwamitra arrived at the royal palace. So now that the decision was made and they were moving forward, there was no need to keep all the royal ornaments and possessions. And so the decision was made to give it all to charity. And what freedom! What freedom! Because um, you know, I was talking to someone the other day, and it's like, well, if you want to keep an elephant, you have to make the doors bigger, you know. And I suppose the richest person in the universe is one who doesn't have any possessions. And so when you look at a king, he may be a king, but he is also tied down by his empire and his people and his possessions and, more. Where does it stop? Um, and so this is an excellent example of just giving it away, total freedom, no attachment, and moving on, because everything that you really need is right here. Is right here. And all of this, we still have to live in third dimensional reality, but you can enjoy it. You can enjoy it. You can take the heat you can take the light, but you never own it. You enjoy it and you move on. And that's how you dance in this reality. If that makes sense. After duly welcoming them, Rama instructed his dependents to look after their palaces in their absence. Rama then ordered his treasurer to bring forth all his wealth. Thereafter, a huge hill of gold and jewels was stacked high, along with other valuables such as clothing, chariots, and animals. So, in this way, Rama began to distribute his possessions. So this is the whole package. Everything is going. It's not, let me just keep this on the side and let's just get rid of this because I don't think all of it. It does not matter. It does not matter. It happened that a Brahmin named Trijata resided in the forest near Ayodhya. Because of his extreme poverty, the Brahmin was very weak and frail. So, for those who don't know, Brahmin's a priest, a learned priest, if you like. His wife pleaded with him to go to Ayodhya to ask for some charity from Lord Ram. Thereafter, the Brahmins set out and happened to arrive just when Ram was distributing the wealth. When he approached Rama and described his impoverished condition, Rama jokingly replied, "Take your staff." Here's our staff. "Take your staff," he said, "and throw it as far as you possibly can. As many cows as that stick passes over, I shall give you wealth." So, Ram, as he is, tells this impoverished Brahmin, "Take this and throw it, and as far as you can go, as many cows there are, I will give you charity." Trijata tightened his belt and excitedly threw his staff into the air. To everyone's surprise, his staff soared all the way across the Sarayu and landed amongst a herd of thousands of cows that were grazing from the river's edge up to the point where his stick had just landed. Rama then embraced the Brahmin, saying, "Please do not be offended by my jest. I merely wish to see your exhibition of Brahmanical powers." After that, Rama gave away everything in his possession. He made sure that no Brahmin, relative, dependent, or beggar failed to receive charity that day. Rama, Sita, and Lakshman then proceeded on foot through the streets of Ayodhya towards the palace of Maharaja Dashrath. The citizens, observing Ram traveling about in this fashion, some from their seven-story mansions and others in crowds on the street, all became greatly pained. They cried, "Oh, how unfortunate that even common people are now able to see Sita, who formerly never appeared in public. We shall take our families to accompany Ram, so Ayodhya can become like an uninhabited forest, and the forest will become a populous city." So you can see the love between the subjects and the king. It was a family, and there was such pain to see the departure of this royal couple that had so much virtue and love and light, and yet they were walking on the streets, and everyone could just look. Yeah. As Rama entered Kekai's quarters, he saw Sumantra and asked the charioteer to announce his presence to the king. Upon hearing of Ram's arrival, Maharaja Dashrath ordered Sumantra to assemble his consorts so he could meet with his son in their presence. Shortly thereafter, 350 young maid servants came and surrounded Kaushalya. Then, when Rama, accompanied by his beautiful Sita and Lakshman, entered his father's room, King Dashrath ran to embrace him. Overwhelmed by grief, the king fell unconscious before reaching his beloved son. And for those of us that have been with me, we know how many times Maharaja Dashrath, how many times the king collapsed in shock, in pain, in denial, all of that, all of that. And yet, here we are again, falling unconscious. And such is the power, such is the power of this illusion and this world that we live in and the relationships and this Maya. Such is the power. No one escapes. At that, Rama rushed forward, picking up his father in his arms, while all around the people cried in anguish. Well, after being brought to his couch, Dashrath regained consciousness. Rama then said, "My dear father, I have come to bid you farewell. Please give me permission to depart for the forest with Sita and Lakshman." So the virtuous son that he is, and he goes to his father and does the right thing and takes permission, even though he has been banished and told to go away for 14 years. He does the right thing. And that's exactly where I'd like to draw your attention. It is not about what life throws at us. It is where we meet life. It is how we respond. It is not about reaction. He could have reacted to the news and cried and carried on and oh my God and the wealth and but there was none of that drama. There was none of that. There was complete detachment. There was clear idea of one's duty, clear sense of duty and integrity and doing right and following through without faltering due to one's ego or personal desire. You, you really see that in his behavior. His actions speak much louder than his words. And that's why Ramayana is such a gold mine of knowledge, because every action is filled with meaning. It depends on how deep you want to go. Maharaja Dashrath urged Ram, please, Ram, please accept my advice, said the father. Take me captive at once and occupy the royal throne by force. No one can stop you. So the father is stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, he has a promise he made many moons and years ago. And on the other side, he's taking these actions that are ripping his soul out of his body, sending his own son off to exile. The pain, the grief, the trauma of it. And we've all gone through instances where we've questioned, where we've been pushed, and we always have a choice on what to choose. You can choose to be in a low vibration and play the victim and cry till you die in the hole, and that's fine. It serves a purpose, but you learn over time that the grace and the beauty, there is just no comparison as you focus on the truth of all that you are, and truth in action, and truth in thought, and truth in belief, and it emanates from every part of you. How could you ever do anything else? It is beaming from within you, and that's what this beautiful soul, this beautiful being of light that we're reading about teaches us. Rama replied, "Dear father, I have no desire to achieve sovereignty over the earth or a royal audience." Maharaja Dashrath then said, "You may leave with my blessings, but please stay here for just one day so I may have the opportunity to see you." Remember, Maharaja Dashrath has been in and out of consciousness ever since the news was delivered, just the shock of it. His whole world has crumbled down. Everything has collapsed. Everything he's worked for, everything in his cosmos, in his universe, his world, it's all crumbling. So one can understand where he's coming from. However, Rama replied, "I must leave immediately. It is my duty to fulfill your promise and do as Kaikeyi has ordered me. I must leave for the forest at once." Maharaja Dashrath then embraced Ram, and afterwards he again fell unconscious. Sumantra, who was weeping profusely, also fell to the floor. Everyone except Keikei cried aloud with grief. It's a sad time in the palace. Nobody wants him to go. No one except Keikei. Sumatra had been the most intimate associate of the royal family. Thus, he, more than all the others, suffered because of the calamity before them. Suddenly, Sumatra approached Keikei and began chastising her harshly, saying, "O wicked woman, by sending away Ram, you will become the murderer of your own husband," she said. "Your selfish demands violate the religious principle that a kingdom be handed over to the eldest son. Indeed, you shall reap the bitter fruits of your evil deeds," she said. "For when Rama goes away, all the Brahmins will follow him. Thus your kingdom will become devoid of all auspiciousness," she snarled. "I will tell you something for your benefit. Once upon a time, your father, Kekaya, received a benediction from a rishi or a sage or a priest that enabled him to understand all languages, even the language of animals. However, in giving the boon, the rishi made one and only one condition. If Kekaya ever disclosed the meaning of any speech that he heard from an animal, he would die. Now, let's make a note of this because it gets very interesting. And the stories weave in the stories, and I know there are lots of characters, but I can remind you, so be with me. Later, the king once happened to hear the shrill cry of a bird. Because he understood its meaning, he began to laugh heartily. However, the queen, your mother, imagined that the king was laughing at her. Therefore, she demanded to know what he had found that was so amusing. The king informed his queen of the rishi's benediction, warning her that he would die if he disclosed what the bird had said. The foolish queen was so stubborn and jealous, however, that she replied, "You can live or die. I don't really care. I only insist that you tell me why you are laughing." Now, the mortified king then went to the rishi who had given him the benediction, explaining his predicament. The rishi advised that he not disclose the bird's speech and that he should rebuke the queen for her impudence. Taking the rishi's words seriously, Maharaja Kekaya gathered his courage and chastised his wife severely. After that, he lived happily thereafter. In the same way, now we're coming back to the story. In the same way, Keikei, you are acting impudently towards your husband. Admit your fault and give up your wicked plan. Keikei, however, remained unmoved. Thus, considering Rama's exile to be inevitable, Maharaja Dashrath ordered Sumatra, "Make ready one auxiliary of soldiers and organize many merchants, hunters, and the royal treasurers so they may accompany Lord Ram to exile. Though he may reside in the forest," said he, "my beloved son does not have to go without the objects of comfort and enjoyment. Hearing this, Kekai was seized with fear. Bharat will not accept the kingdom if you strip it of all its resources even before its installation, she said to the king. Growing progressively weaker, Dashrath said, if you will not let Ram go to the forest in comfort, then I shall take all the citizens with me, myself, and accompany him. So you can see it's really strained between the king and the queen. This one promise has created this divide now. And we're pulling on strings. The right, we're towards the end where he's just trying to get anything he can. Kekai is snapped. In our dynasty, there is the example of how King Sagara exiled his eldest son, Asamanjasa. Therefore, you should cast off Ram in the same way, she said. Hearing this, the elder minister Siddhartha retorted, Asamanjasa used to take delight in drowning other children in the river Surayu. When the citizens complained of this to King Sagara, he rejected his cruel son. How is your comparison valid? Where is the fault of Lord Ram? Rama interjected, my dear father, please do not be upset. I have no use for royal comforts you desire for me. Let Kekai's maid servants bring me tree bark at once, so I can wear suitable clothing for my forest life. Hearing his request, the shameless Kekai personally went and brought clothes made from tree bark and asked Ram to put them on. Without hesitation, Rama and Lakshman obediently took off their royal garments and put on the clothes presented by Kekai. And I'm going to stop right here. So we are still in the palace making final arrangements, and now Kekai is insisting that Lord Rama should not receive any comfort, he should live a hard life, and she's making sure in every which way she can that he receives nothing and everything goes to Bharat, and everything's getting really strained. Um, and she has been warned because karma does return. Um, and we learn about the seeds that we sow, how they come back, and how thoughts and actions create our future. So I will finish this here. It's been a slightly shorter reading today, but for good reason, given the intense energies. I'll just close this space quickly and give thanks to all those who were present for today's reading. I send you back to where you came from with love and many blessings for you and your loved ones and your systems, constellations, bloodlines, and existence across space and time in the ever-present now. May all beings be blessed. May all those who hear this or intend to hear this at any point in space and time be blessed. धर्म की जय हो, अधर्म का नाश हो, प्राणियों में सद्भावना हो, विश्व का कल्याण हो. जय श्री राम. And so today's reading has finished. The next reading will be 2 weeks from now, December 28th, Monday. Now, I will confirm there might be a date change because of the Christmas period, but I will put something up on the page, so stay tuned to that. And thank you for attending. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. And many blessings to you. Jai Shri Ram. And Jai Shri Ram from Rocky the King Coffee. And we will see you on the 28th of this month. Thank you to Mona Lisa Biswas and the rest of her family who's always joined us. Thank you to Parag Tole and Priyathar and her family. And thank you to Kirti Chand and Dr. Premchand and everyone else who comes across this reading. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the wolf, Mr. Whippy, who is also sleeping while we're doing this reading. Jai Shri Ram. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas celebration, and we will catch you for reading number 14. Om Namah Shivaya.